So Plone is what you might call a CMS, which is short for content management system, which these days doesn't really mean anything anymore. It essentially lets you put web pages online, and that's a pretty poor definition of a system. So where Plone is different is it's based on Python. It's based on a non-SQL database. I wouldn't say NoSQL because that's a particular label that some people have adopted for a particular set of databases. And it's also kind of on the higher end, more like run your company, intranet, those kind of things, as opposed to blog online. So it's a pretty open system in the sense that there are modules to do pretty much anything from like forums to blogs and stuff like that. But in general, it's more business focused than a lot of the CMSs out there right now.
So let's step back a second. Let's take a look at a CMS. So content management system, from what I can distinguish, is something where you're mostly uploading and modifying assets through the web interface, as opposed to what we used to do traditionally with websites, which is we put a whole bunch of content through FTP uploads and things like that on the back end and sort of manage it that way. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's a good description.
Okay, so here's a content management system. I'm interfacing through the web to talk to my my website or building whatever I'm building. And you said this isn't necessarily if I'm just doing like a small individual site. This is more for large things that scales well for that.
Mm-hmm. So typically, you don't want to care about layout and colors and fonts and stuff like that in a professional context, whether it's a website or an intranet. So one of the things it does, it separates the content from the layout. So when you write an article, which you're probably intimately familiar with if you used anything like WordPress and stuff like that, where you don't actually do that much formatting. You do bold and italics, stuff like that. You attach pictures, but it always looks like the website. Plone is a little bit more focused around capturing assets, and also, if you want to add videos or files or stuff like that, and kind of keep all your company data in one location, that's good for that. And it has really good search capabilities. So it's one of those things where a lot of the systems where you put things internally, if you have an intranet, they have really bad search. So you really don't want to put your stuff there. You'd rather put it in Google Docs or something like that. But this lets you keep things within the company and still have good search.
So let's keep it. I want to start with a simple example to make sure that I'm understanding what the terminology is here. So let's say at the low end, maybe I just want to have a blog and I want to use Plone to manage my blog. I would have different steps to that probably. I would have, obviously I'm publishing an article, so I've got some interface where I'm entering an article with its heading and maybe a pub date or something like that. But there's also the parts where I have to sort of manage like the look of my blog, where I've got like maybe a common header or maybe some archive indexes, things like that. And so what's the interface for that, interacting to make that with Plone? So
Plone lets you do everything through the web interface. So you just need a web browser, and it works with pretty much any web browser down to IE6, which is painful, but it does. And generally, one of the major differences is that in Plone, what you're looking at is how it'll look like when you hit the publish button. There isn't a separate admin interface. It's similar to a wiki in the sense that you walk up to a page, you hit the edit button, and you edit whatever was there. And then you have the looks of your blog, which works the same way as in a lot of other systems, where you can download themes, you can make your own themes, those kind of things.
I think